Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more World of Tanks. As you can see, this is Extreme Unicorn Attack in his E4. This is a tier 10 game on the Abbey. Ooh, this is the tier 10 American tank destroyer. And that actually kind of a special game because he's platooned up with the other tier 10 American tank destroyer, E3. Now, this is the E4, obviously. And that's the E3. Now, there's a couple of differences. The main difference being, the fact that this thing has a turret and that thing doesn't. And the other thing is this thing has a weak spot on the top of its turret and that thing doesn't. Don't shoot that couple up there. It ain't going to do you what you think you're going to do. Unless you have like 300 mils of penetration or greater, that's not going to go through. You need to be shooting the lower glacis on that thing or the sides. And because of the fact that it doesn't have a turret, it's not that hard to get around the sides of it. Assuming you can take a shell. Or you have a friend. You can use the meat shield to take a shell, and then you can get around to the side of it. This thing is equally tough to beat from the front. You need to be shooting the lower glacis. Alternatively, you can shoot this cupola. Now, a couple of things about this cupola. It is rounded, right? So unless you can get a shell down into this region here, you're likely to be ricocheting off unless you have a high pen. This is 280 millimeters thick up here, but again, it's rounded, so if you're not hitting a flat surface, the likelihood is it's just going to ricochet off, or it will just damage the module and not actually go through. Actually, while I'm talking about it, I should also mention that if you're shooting for the lower glacis, don't shoot for the middle unless you absolutely have to. There's parts over the side where it flattens out towards the tank treads. Those are the best spots to be shooting, as it flattens out, so it's not as round, not as likely to ricochet your shells, and it actually comes down to quite a bit in armor over there. And so yeah. Now I do have to note he's running a case of cola. Now he either has firefighting on his crew, or he's got the bond skill firefighting. And wait, is this sped up? Oh, this is how fast this thing always goes. Okay, cool. I haven't actually played an E4 yet, though I've had it unlocked for probably over a year. I just never seem to have the cash laying around where I want to buy this as my next tank. So yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. What else can I say about this? Oh, right. Actually, before we get too far into the game, if you think this deserves an MVP, then do hit the like button. If you think I deserve more subscribers, then please share this. And all things thank the Patrons, for they are awesome and amazing. And without the Patrons, a lot of the stuff I do, like a lot of the giveaways and stuff I do on the channel, wouldn't be possible. Last week's MVP has been given out, and by the time this video goes up, then there'll only be this day left. Of course, Friday's the day when I do the MVPs. A nice shot. He actually fired that into what looked like the upper plate of. He must have got lucky on the pen, because that, or I missed where that shot. Wait, am I? No, I'm not in fixed camera mode. So for some reason, I thought I was still in fixed camera. It's not the point. He moved his tank cursor the same way I did at the exact same time, and it was kind of freaky there for a second. This thing takes a ton of time between reloads, so you really have to make sure that each and every shell you fire lands on target, because it's going to be a while before you can fire the next shell. And so Extreme Unicorn is trying to bait out the shots from the 704. He doesn't want to be out in the open, sitting out there and just taking shells from the 704. So he waits till 704 fires, and then he pulls up. Now, 704 got out of there as soon as he fired, but we can wait for him to come back. And it looks like that's what Extreme is doing. Now, he knows that his allies are pushing up on this side, so there's no reason for him to sit way back here unless he has to, and he might as well push up. He gets into cover from the artillery. However, he gets lit up in the side from the E5. And our T10 takes all the time in the world before he starts moving. Now, if the T10 had been moving earlier, we probably, I don't know, we probably still would have taken the shot from the E5, but we wouldn't have felt like we were sitting out in the open for so long. Now, the E5, for some reason, decides to take a shot into the back, or the side of an E4, and then just sit with his back end hanging out in the breeze. And I assume he thought we weren't going to shoot him. He was very wrong. That, of course, we're going to take the free damage. There's a 183 over there on 26 health. Unfortunately, he's got to go down. So as much as Extreme wanted to shoot the IS-3 for the more damage, he has to kill the Doom, the Death Star, because of course, if you don't kill the Death Star is likely to kill you. Hoping to get a shot at the 704 or the J Panther 2 back there. Unfortunately, again, necessity means he has to take out the IS-3 and doesn't get the shot he really wants. But what it does mean is he still has an ally with over 800 health. So as long as his ally doesn't take a shot right here. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about this because this was stupid. I understand that his buddy in the E3 wants some more damage. And there's a fully health up 704 right here. And that's a good chunk of damage that can get dealt. And all these guys are rushing too. But to be the first around a corner when you're on your less than half health and there's something like a 704 on the other side of the corner, it's just not worth it. You might as well let somebody who's got more than full, or more closer to full health. Wow, that sentence was horrible. It's a good thing I can English, right, guys? And I don't do this every day. Anyways, you might as well let somebody closer to full health go around the corner first. And also the exact same thing. And take that shell for you. Especially if you're in a platoon. Good lord, what's the point of being in a platoon if you ain't going to work together? I'm sorry, I was wrong. I understand now what the point of being in a platoon is if you're not going to work together. It's so you can give the enemy artillery bombardier medals. Oh, that was stupid. But the enemy already enjoyed it. So our Sheridan is going in for an attack on the J Panther 2. I don't know how smart that is. If the J Panther 2 sees him coming, he's going to die. But I'm going to assume the J Panther 2 didn't see him coming. Snapshot on the low misses, of course, because it's a snapshot. This thing needs to be able to aim in order to be able to hit its target. And the low immediately finishes off the T10, who suicides off the cliff for him. But I was going to say we return fire and kill the low. But that's not what happened. In fact, all that happened was we managed to let a low shoot us through the drive wheel, I think. Or somewhere else similarly silly. He didn't hit our upper side. I don't see a shot along here, so it must have been through the track somewhere. And he is loading HE. Good job. So all he has to do is connect with the low, with the HE loaded. He doesn't have to do anything other than connect his shell because of the fact that he has such a high damage main gun. HE will do more than 19 damage every time, just based on connecting with the target. That means that he didn't even have to worry about doing something as weird and silly as if his shell hit the gun of the low, he still would have died. And so the guarantee kill is really, really essential when you're coming down to these end of the line games, or wow, down to the wire games at the end, where you really do have to make sure each and every kill succeeds. Now, I believe at this point in time, Extreme Unicorn is actually going back to protect our artillery. He does kind of leave the Tiger 2 hanging out there, but that's only because the Tiger 2 delays in turning around and coming back. The Tiger was really wanting to go for a push. I don't know why. If the VKB was going to stay up here and the ST1 was over here spotting, then, between this guy this guy and the artillery sitting back there, they would have shredded anything that tried to just push around this corner without clearing them out first. Now the AMX has gotten almost all the way to our artillery. No doubt he's lit him. RD needs to be moving, which he is in fact doing right now. He's juking back and forth and trying to dodge the enemy artillery blast, which has got to be inbound. Now, if this shot connects, then we can take out the threat to our artillery. We'll also take out one of the biggest threats to ourselves, because the 1390 is so agile. If it gets around the E4 is more or less just dead. Or at least going to be crippled. Assuming, of course, that the 1390 has a full mag. And the 1390 does what he can and then decides he can't do anymore and just bolts. Unfortunately, that shell looked good, but I think it connected to a rock between here and there. And the 1390 gets away more or less clean. Though I'm not quite certain how our artillery isn't dead, or at least injured, because there's no doubt that enemy... what? What? What is... What is this guy doing? How did he get there without us seeing him? Was he going around this way and then double back for some stupid reason? Because if he just continued around this way, he would have hit our Tiger 2, and he could have cleaned up the Tiger 2 really quite easily. That's 2 shells into the Tiger 2 for it to be dead. And then he would have had our backside. Obviously, we was spun around before that, assuming the Tiger 2 spotted what killed him, of course. But that was like, of all stupid moves, that was not the one I expected, but good lord, does it make me crack up. Oh, and the guard, again, the guard's just in the open, because why take cover when there's an E4 on the field? Like, I mean, he's even looking at us. He knows we're here, and he's still out in the open. He's gonna get killed by the Tiger 2. No, in fact, I'm wrong. He's gonna wander out into the open and get killed by us. Oh, 1390 is way over there doing whatever he can. 1390 has fired 3 shells, 4 shells. That guess at where 1390 was is a really good one. Unfortunately, it didn't hit, or we just tracked him, or maybe blew out some module or something like that. Somehow, it got eaten by something that wasn't his tank, or it wasn't part of this tank that we could do damage to. Sadly, but Extreme is really quite sure that this is where this guy is, to the point where I'm fairly certain he's going to fire his second shell over there. Nope, no, just the one shell. This would not be a bad time to go some HE if you want to experiment. But I think Extreme is just going to sit here and wait for this 13-9 make a mistake. No! So our GW tire didn't get out of there, and eventually the mistake happens and enemy GW just drops the bomb. Boom, dead, end of him. Now at this point in time, 13-9 has got to be moving. Especially since he knows the VK is coming up behind. He really wants to join in this fight and basically triple team us right now, as that would guarantee the victory for his team. Unfortunately, we don't have time to sit around and wait for the 13-9 move so we can kill him, because if he turns out he doesn't want to move, then this VKB would take apart our Tiger. No doubt about it. Oh, I love this. This is a beautiful move. So in addition to this cool scene where you get the beautiful smoke, you get the fact that Extreme puts himself between his ally, who is definitely dead in a single shot, and the enemy. And he did it really, like, I mean, he didn't have to come on this path. He could have just circled it wide, paused, and taken a beautiful shot into the lower glacis, and had this guy dead next shot. But he doesn't do that. He takes a shot on the move. He comes right in here, up close, and he hugs this rock. He takes this off his armor, but in the meantime, he makes sure that the Tiger 2 is safe. And now there's 2 of them left, and these guys can both double team this poor guy. Takes his tracks off with a single shot, and the Tiger 2 is going to go around and start pumping shots in from behind this guy. Now, I don't think we're going to be loaded in time to take the final shot unless this Tiger 2 manages to bounce one. Nope, he doesn't. He secures the kill, and now the 13-9 comes in just a little bit late. So if we had done this the other way around, right, where we'd let the Tiger die, then we'd be over here somewhere right now. The VK would be dead, but so would the Tiger, and we'd probably have just fired. The 13-9 would be able to come around. If the Extreme Unicorn was amazing, he might be able to get his back up against this rock. But the 13-9 would have been able to come around and unload probably 5 shells directly into our engine. While he's doing that, he would have kept us tracked / pinned over here, and the GW Panther would have landed the shell on top of us, and that would have been game. But as it is, Tiger's still alive. We still have an ally. Worst case scenario, this 13-9 manages to dodge a bullet right here, which doesn't seem likely, but is possible. The 13-9 manages to juke at just the right second. Maybe he dodges a bullet. He could either cut inside, or more likely comes around the outside and starts shooting up our rear. But before he gets even to past here, he's going to be directly in the line of fire of this Tiger. And Tiger's pretty proven himself semi-capable, so this should be an easy target for him. And we have help. Not that we need it, of course, because nice shot directly into that poor 13-9 who... Wait. Be very careful. You almost killed the Tiger. I mean, that Tiger 2 just needs somebody to send a gentle breeze in his general direction, and that thing's gonna fall apart. But thankfully for him, enemy artillery doesn't send anything his way, and he is able to just climb up that hill. And he probably did the most dangerous thing by coming up here instead of tucking and coming back down here like Extreme did. Extreme did this because, of course, this keeps him already safe. The Tiger 2 is just thinking about the next kill. He's not thinking about the Artie might have already had a shot in the air, and he needs to get in cover. So we're going to speed this up a bit because there's no way Artie is camped over here. Artie is over here somewhere, or possibly moving down this and going for the cap. Now our Tiger 2 is going back to base, which is good because if the enemy artillery turns out he's trying to cap, we might not make it there in time, even just cutting through the center of the map. This thing is not super fast. Ah, look at that. Enemy artillery is capping. Now we get to see how fast this thing is as he starts to cut through the center. Tiger 2 has the enemy in sight, and I'm certain he's going to kill him in just a few seconds. But if he doesn't... Wait. What? He gave up his high ground position of advantage to come down here. Okay. I'm going to put this out here because it's just that kind of game. I think the Tiger 2 is going to get himself shotgunned. Because he's an idiot. So, pull back everything I said earlier about him being reasonably capable. No, he's been lucky to this point, apparently. He's a moron in so many ways. Called it. Can I get a like for calling it? But that's okay, because that is game, and that is how you secure a victory. Seriously, Tiger? Seriously? Oh, wow. Just wow. And well done. Jeez. So the E4 is just deadly, and apparently versatile enough to defend the entire map. Just walk around the entire map defending it from anything, as long as your enemies are kind enough to come at you one by one. There we go. Try and zoom it the entire time. Oh, now the camera's stuck in again. Anyways. This thing is a beautiful tank, and I really need to get my hands on one. But good lord, finding the cash, right? Oh yeah. So thank you, Extreme Unicorn, for sending this in. This was awesome to watch, and that is good enough for 6k damage code, including the spine damage. So thank you, sir. You are now a proud member of the 6k damage code. And yeah, we will see you guys in a second. I'm just going to go and grab the battle results. Ace, Tanker, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, High Caliber, and the Top Gun. This game was so full of ups and downs and like everything else, that from the snapshot in the E4 at the beginning to having to kill 183 on 26 health because it just needed to die, to that amazing shot into the what was that, the GW at the end there. I mean, well done. This game really did have everything in it. I can't believe that our Tiger 2 did something so stupid as to give up the high ground advantage to go down and get himself shotgunned. So props to the enemy artillery, because our Tiger 2 was so stupid as to get himself shotgunned for no good reason. And other than that, this was a great game. I really enjoyed the playoff between the E3 and the E4. And actually, of course, props to Crow Cop Warrior. These two guys obviously play well together. And if he hadn't been quite so greedy for that 7-4 kill, he definitely would have done a bit better, because he would have been alive a lot longer. Also, props to anybody who can get a Bombardier, really. Well done. 17 shots fired, 12 shells entered targets for almost 6,000 damage. Well done. It was a great game. Thank you so much for saying in, Extreme. And of course, thank you for just everything. If you guys think this deserves an MVP, then please do hit that like button. If you think I deserve more subscribers, then please share this. And all things, thank the Patreons, for they are awesome. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much. This is ioEther out.